We're here at the Mobile Marketing Forum in LA, and I'm Michelle Sklar, joined by openwave's Anand Chandrasekaran. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. A mouthful, I know. But, okay, well, let's start with getting a brief overview of what your company does.
Yeah, so OpenWave has been in Silicon Valley-based company for about 14 years or so. And we've been in the mediation business for all this time.
Okay.
And the meaning of mediation has changed a lot in those years. And we originally built the web gateways, but things have evolved significantly since then. And what we do is basically enable operators and the rest of the ecosystem to measure, monitor, monetize their assets. Operators have been seeing this flow of traffic,
to say the least.
to say the least. And some of them are taking proactive steps, some of them are reacting to it, but it's very unprecedented, in the past 2 years or so, or even less. And at OpenWave, we call this the data tsunami.
That would be a good name for it.
Yeah, and this is becoming a very well-known set of facts. But a smartphone basically consumes about 30x the traffic. It drives about 30x the traffic of a feature phone. And if you look at the 3G dongle, the data dongles, data cards, they drive about 15 times the traffic of a smartphone, which is about 450 times the feature phone traffic. And most of these networks were built for feature phone type traffic. So the traffic that they're experiencing because of the smartphone traffic first, and then the 3G cards, it's just very unprecedented. But also, if you look at it, that's only the beginning as more and more devices start to get.
I mean, I know, for example, by the time we get into the next, 2 to 3 years, I mean, we are looking at having about a billion people using, mobile web or mobile internet, broadband in particular. We're looking at over 200 million new devices being shipped in the market. We're looking at, a tremendous increase of 3G subscribers and that sort of thing. So by all means, operators and carriers need to be positioned to be able to manage that that type of traffic. But at the same time, we know that is the reality. So what are some of the things that they're doing to begin to manage that data throughput?
Sure.
Because it's one thing to talk about it and go, okay, well, we know we've got a lot of stuff that's coming down the pipe here, but now we actually need to implement some strategies to manage that, which is, I'm assuming, obviously, where you guys come in. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So yesterday we did a workshop, which is sort of, if you're listening to me now, it's like listening to Sports Center after you watch the whole game.
The commentary after the fact,
but we had a very detailed workshop yesterday, which basically talked about how it's an end-to-end process, and the operators wouldn't want to work with point solutions for each part of this. They would ideally want someone to come in and say, we understand how this whole thing works. And so it starts with analytics. You can't really make decisions if you don't know what's going on. And a lot of operators are still, for the most part, flying blind. So the analytics part first gives them everything from the network reports, which is a start, leading up to some kind of subscriber tracking, subscriber measurement, how they use the services that are rolled out to them, leading all the way up to predictive analytics.
Okay.
So we have that product line, and my colleague Anurag was presenting the workshop. He's responsible for analytics. But once you know what's going on, and let's say video is a huge part of the traffic, we have an optimization line which essentially is able to intelligently accelerate, compress, mediate, etc., so that they can deliver the same service, but without as much bandwidth utilization.
It's interesting too, because we certainly see that video is probably already the most popular downloadable application, and that is really something that's going to take off. But some of the barriers that can hinder a smooth growth of that process is the backhaul not being managed properly, the data throughput causing way too much churn, where we're just going to lose the customer's attention to video, and certainly we don't want to be rolling backwards. On the other hand, I mean, certainly this is something that we know is coming down the pipeline, so carriers should be more prepared for that. So what can you tell us maybe about some of the new initiatives you've launched globally with carriers and operators that maybe are addressing these potential problems as well?
Yeah, so let me take the example of Bouygues Telecom. We recently announced a press release with Bouygues. They're an example of an operator who said we can go way beyond just reacting to this data. And a lot of times consumers are willing to pay for a premium experience. And so an example of that is they are using a combination of optimization to manage the traffic, but there's an OpenWave product called Passport, which allows you to set policy around, if a certain user is requesting certain kind of bandwidth, you can say that's available, but here is the price for that. So it allows you to offer, it could either be a tiered pricing or what's called hot billing, just sort of buy bandwidth by the drink. So OpenWave, true to what OpenWave has done all along, we help mediate those kinds of services to be launched.
Right.
So it's a combination of analytics, optimization, and then data mediation and billing and so on.
Right. So my last question for you then, of course, is here we are at a mobile marketing forum. Yeah. So we're talking about that your role is really in sort of the management side of things for data for carriers and operators. So how is that translating for you in terms of working within the mobile marketing ecosystem?
Yeah, so that's a great question. That's the reason we're here. We think that the analytics and advertising driven product is really the beginning of how this entire ecosystem could work together. We've been talking about location-enabled and rich subscriber-enabled services and advertising and so on for a long time. But one of the reasons that hasn't happened, particularly in North America, is because all the players that need to work together have not had that discussion. They haven't really sat together and talked about what the problems are and what the use cases are, and really how does it bring value to the consumer. And Chetan Sharma talked yesterday about how a lot of these services will be powered by advertising as a way of monetization, just like the internet, so for some services you pay up front, and for some services it's powered by advertising. And so mobile, there's no reason mobile can't follow the internet on that. And so we're here to sort of start that conversation between OpenWave and companies like OpenWave and the operators and ad networks, search companies, etc. To create those end-to-end use cases.
Awesome. Anand, thank you so much for joining us here with Open Market. I just screwed that up, sorry. Just gonna cut off again. Here with OpenWave at the Mobile Marketing Forum in Los Angeles, I'm Michelle Sklar with BNetTV.com.